if other people are reacting to something that I'm saying, I just assume that it's me. I need to mask myself more. I need to stop being me more. I need to hide myself away more. I need to be someone else other than me. But that's genuinely what I thought. I thought I had to stop being me. She is unpleasable. Nothing I can do can please her. I'm now turning that around and going, where am I unpleasable? It just seems to be the fact that I exist is enough of a reason for people not to like me. Until today, I am the kind of person who, for whatever reason, people get triggered by a lot. And it's actually been really, really interesting because up until recently, I've always gone, there's something wrong with me, there's something wrong with me, there's something wrong with me. And then just this morning, I had a completely different perspective. And I have had the same perspective for the last, say, at least 20 years, that it has, well, longer actually, that I am the reason why people just don't like me, why they decide to end friendships with me. And I sit and I rack my brain and I look and I go, what did I do? What did I say? What could I possibly have done to mean that people don't like me? And every time I sit back and I look and I go, but I didn't say anything wrong. I wasn't rude. I wasn't mean. I wasn't unkind. I didn't put them down. I don't call people names. It just seems to be the fact that I exist is enough of a reason for people not to like me until today. Today that changes because I've just had the same experience. There is a family here and the kids get along really well with my daughter, and they've been coming over to our place and we've been to theirs before. And the wife has basically banned my daughter from going there and banned her kids from coming here. And she linked it back to a conversation that was had quite a while ago. And there were three other people in that conversation, and those three people are still talking to me. So I sat this morning and I really tapped into my critical, logical thinking brain and went, hang on a minute. There were three other people there, and they're all fine with me. And now here we are. She's saying that I said something wrong. I didn't even really talk to her. That was the thing that was one of the, I guess, the light bulb moments was, but I wasn't really talking to her. I was actually talking to the other three people because she, just as soon as I sat down, I felt like these prickles go up on the back of her neck. And I could feel, you know how you can feel that someone just doesn't like you there? And I could feel that she just did not like me. I knew she didn't like me the minute I sat down. And fast forward to last week, I saw her with her two girls at the library, and I was very pleasant and very nice. And even though I knew she didn't like me, I did not ignore her or walk away or be rude or unkind. I still firmly believe that even if someone does not like you or someone is coming at you, always move with kindness. And so I did. I moved with kindness, and then she banned the girls from seeing my daughter. And this morning I looked at my daughter and I said, okay, you were there last week. Did I say anything unkind? She said, no. I said, did I say anything rude? She said, no. Did I say anything that seemed like it was like something to be triggered by? She said, no. I said, so why am I supposed to take responsibility for the fact that she doesn't like me? And my daughter looked at me and she said, you're not. And it opened something inside of me. And I went, oh my God, I have taken responsibility for other people's behavior for a very long time. From the moment my mum and my dad made my sister's poor behavior towards me my fault, even though I had done nothing wrong. And I had done nothing wrong. I was 12 at the time. So it, but that moment where my mum and my dad both basically said, my dad said directly to me, you are a bad sister. What do you expect was going to happen? I was not a bad sister. And when my dad said that to me, and it stuck with me for such a long time, because then my mum was also an alcoholic, and he said to me almost the same thing. He said, "What do you expect? You're such a bad daughter." And so I think from that moment on, I have just taken responsibility for other people's bad behavior. My sister's behavior towards me was and still is appalling. My mother's behavior towards me was appalling, but it was my fault and I took that on. And ever since then, I have just taken on responsibility for other people's bad behavior. If other people are reacting to something that I'm saying, I just assume that it's me. And not only that, the universe in its infinite wisdom sends people to me that directly say, it has to be you. And then you look at the law of attraction, and I'm putting all these pieces together going, well, if I keep attracting the same person to me, then it must be me. Obviously, I am saying something wrong. I am behaving in a way that isn't right. I need to mask myself more. I need to stop being me more. I need to hide myself away more. I need to be someone else other than me. And this is this battle that I have been having with myself for such a long time, going, and I remember saying to someone once, I was crying my eyes out and I said, I don't know how to not be me. But that's genuinely what I thought. I thought I had to stop being me. That has just, I guess, destroyed a piece inside of me that has been wanting to be seen and heard and loved and nurtured and adored and all of these things that a parent is supposed to do that mine never did. This poor part inside of me that wants to be loved. And yet, all of these people, and I know it's going to sound insane, but it's every single person I've ever had a friendship with has ended their friendship with me. I have a stream of human beings behind me that um, where the friendship has ended. My best friends of 15 years ended their friendship with me. That was for different reasons. However, they made it out to be like I did something wrong. I was behaving in a way that was wrong. Just as a little side path, turns out I wasn't actually doing anything wrong. One of the friends who ended their friendship with me came back to me later, because this was at a time when my mum was really sick and she'd been very slowly passing away. And this was 2 weeks before she passed away that they ended their friendship with me. And she came to me a couple of years later and she actually said, I'm so sorry. I did not understand what you were going through. I did not understand why you were the way you were. But then she went through her mother passing away and she said, I'm so sorry. I understand now. I get why you were the way you were because I am the way you were. And it was that moment where that was just one, I guess, one moment where I was able to take a big step back and go, so I took responsibility for these people ending their friendship with me when it wasn't actually my fault. I actually did nothing wrong. They reacted to something that I did and chose to end the friendship instead of staying and supporting me through the worst time of my life. They chose to walk away. They chose abandonment. They made all of these choices. I did nothing wrong. I was a mum, a single mum, who was watching her mother die. And it was really, I guess that has been a layer to this. And I know I just digress, so let me bring it back to what just happened. So this morning, when my daughter said, you're not supposed to take responsibility, it almost like it hit me on such a visceral level. And that's when I went, oh my God, I am not supposed to take responsibility for other people's bad behavior. I am supposed to take responsibility for my bad behavior. I am supposed to take responsibility for my triggers. I am supposed to take responsibility for my reactions. I am supposed to take responsibility for my choices, not somebody else's choices, not somebody else's behavior, and not somebody else's triggers. And this is what I've been doing. I've seen it over the last couple of years where people say, you're the reason I'm triggered. And in my head, I'm saying to myself, no, I'm not the cause. I'm the catalyst. I am not the cause of this trigger. This trigger was created a long time ago. I'm not the cause. I am the catalyst. And you get to choose whether you deal with the trigger or blame me for it. And what I'm finding with this person is that she's choosing to blame me for the trigger. I genuinely didn't say anything wrong. There were three other people there that day, and none of them have ended their friendship with me. They all see me. We still talk. There was no trigger for them. So having this put in front of me, and then, but then also, this is where it gets really grey because I keep having people come into my life, get triggered, and then leave. And then I keep blaming myself for it, going, it must be me because it's happening to me. It must be me. And what I think is happening, and go with me on this, what I think is happening is that when my sister made the decision to become who she chose to become when I was 12 and she was 15, and my mum and my dad said, that was your fault. I, at 12 years old, took it on to mean that somebody else's bad behavior is my fault. And then my dad anchored that in by saying, your mum's bad behavior, your mum's alcoholic drinking is your fault. And so it's anchored that belief in where at 12 years old, 13 years old, I've gone, okay, so here's someone that knows more than me. Everyone at 12 assumes that their parents are some form of God, unless you've lost that realization early. But let's assume that I had a God complex around my dad and my mum, that they're bigger than me, they know more than me, they're wiser than me, all of that stuff. I've taken that on to be true because I don't have a critical, logical, rational thinking brain at 12. I have a limbic. I have an emotional center at 12. And so I've taken that on like a sponge and assumed that it's true, and then moved about my life believing that it's a couple of things, that I am the cause of people not liking me, no matter what I do. If I am happy, if I'm joyful, if I am angry, if I am sad, it doesn't matter. People don't like me. I am not a likable person. I'm pretty sure that that was kind of the belief that I picked up through this while I'm trying to work this out in my very young brain. When I look at some of the beliefs that I have, I picked up I'm not likable. I wasn't mean to my sister. I was just a sister. So if I wasn't that mean enough to justify her refusing to speak to me, that's what happened. She gave me the silent treatment, and 35 years later, she's still giving me the silent treatment. Then that part of me, when you have a parent that goes, you are the cause, you are the reason this is happening, and my brain can't find a rational reason that causes it, that like the actual rational, well, what am I doing that's so wrong that's making my sister not talk to me? And what am I doing that's so wrong that's making my mum drink? And I, as a 12-year-old, cannot find a reason. Then all of a sudden my brain goes, it must just be because I'm me. It must just be because I'm not likable. I'm not lovable. And the universe, in its infinite wisdom, has just been sending people to me constantly, 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 who just don't like me, that match that I'm not likable energy that I walk around with, and I'm not lovable energy that I walk around with. So because it sits in me and I'm walking around with it, and I'm vibrating with this I'm not likable, I'm not lovable energy, I am constantly bringing people to me that that just at some point go, you're not likable, you're not lovable, I have to leave, even without a cause. I've known that this is I've known that the I'm not likable, I'm not lovable part. But I guess the part that really, really, really sat, that really got me this morning was that I cannot take responsibility for other people's bad behavior. I cannot bend myself into a big enough pretzel to please everybody and to behave in a way that pleases the person in front of me who is just unpleasable. This person is an unpleasable human being. She cannot be pleased. She it doesn't it doesn't matter how I behave. She already decided before I even opened my mouth that day that I sat down at the park that she did not like me and she was not going to like me. And it didn't matter what I said that day. I could have sat there in silence and I still would have offended her. Do you get what I mean? There are sometimes these people in the world that are just this absolute representations of that part inside of you that is unlikable and unpleasable. So when I look at her and I go, she is unpleasable. Nothing I can do can please her. I'm now turning that around and going, where am I unpleasable? Where am I moving about the world going, universe, there's nothing you can do to please me. Doesn't matter what you do. I am unpleased by what you're doing for me or to me or around me. And I'm using this as a relationship between me and me, right? Me and my higher part, my higher self, my God self, universal self, divine self. I'm using this as an indicator to go, I must be moving about the world saying to my divine self, does not matter what you do, I am unpleasable because I am not likable and I am not lovable and I cannot be pleased. Oh, so that is actually a really big realization that I've had. And I don't know how life is going to change now, but going with my surrendering experiment this month is I am surrendering all of this over to the divine and going, you know what? I'm surrendering this. I am lovable. I am likable. I am worth pleasing. I am worth being with and spending time with. And I am pleased by the life that the universe has offered to me so far. And I'm hoping that moving around with that vibration and surrendering anything that opposes that is going to help me. It's going to help my heart and it's going to help my daughter. So that's what I wanted to jump on and say this morning. Thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.